I know you're wondering, where were we tonight? I promise you we'll make up for it here and some, because we've got a man that is the definition of prime time and the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and boy, he had maybe the most interesting, I don't know, last 24 to 48 hours of last time you seen him in an IMF ring or anywhere you've seen him in his career, because let's recap for the audience. He beat down Dirty. He shook Dirty's hand. There was a sign of respect. He burned Il Drago's Ulafalas before that. Then he goes out and competes in this Rumble in the Wreck, loses the United States Championship, but wins the Rumble in the Wreck. And then there was this whole thing with Omen Black and Felix Jones in the House of Wolves, and he walked off. And where does that leave our guest? Where does that leave our guest going into a number of different shows here, and especially one called Summer Bash 3, and to follow, Shots of War, One Night Stand, and All Out Warfare. Boy, our guest is going to be a very, very busy man here. Boy, our guest is going to have plenty to say, I am sure, and I'm even going to say this might be the most controversial appearance he's had in his career, but yet it seems like he did the right thing. That's controversial. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to talk about this situation with the IMF World Championship and two world champions, and what does our guest think about that? I'm going to also ask our guest about losing that United States Championship to Il Drago, who seems like the High Chief got one up on the most controversial figure in wrestling history. And I'm going to ask him about the foundation in the House of Wolves, and is he still in the House of Wolves? Plus, who knows whatever else. But I know it's been a minute since our guest has been here, and it's got to have been the longest lap between appearances for him in his illustrious career here on Sportzwire Radio, and it's a platform he most certainly made famous, and I must now give him that introduction, because it's been a minute, and maybe I won't even need the bleep button tonight. Maybe I won't even need some of those usual things, because it seems like our guest, yes, that's right, for the first time that I can remember in 2.5 years that he's been coming onto this platform, that he's made famous, that he's built, that he did the right things. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard enough from me. So in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because I see our chat is waiting for it. Our guest is most certainly waiting to talk about a slew of other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to say we start the weekend off here in style rather than close it, because now it is time to bring on our guest here on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, what do I do here on the Sports Report? #1 Cable Sports Show. A man that is the most controversial figure in all of wrestling history. A man that was the longest reigning IMF United States champion in history. The 2025 Rumble in the Wreck winner. His name is simply put, the Real Deal. da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Steele! The Rumble winner is here! My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing all right, Tom. I'm getting ready for this upcoming weekend. I'm getting ready for Summer Bash. So I have some things planned. I got my eye on one man, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But
Just
first
one
of
man?
all,
Just one man?
I mean, it's Summer Bash. There's anything and everything is possible. But let's just say we're going to take it back where it all started. But
Wow.
we'll get into
Take it
that
back.
here in a little bit.
It's almost like you're
But
going down memory lane. It's almost like Anthony Steele reflecting here. Retrospective Anthony Steele edition.
So, but first of all, I have to talk about what happened at Rumble in the Wreck.
Good idea.
And well, we can start off with Dirty Donnie and answer the question, why?
Yes, sir.
So, the question I've got a lot recently is why, after everything that I've done, everything I've put Dirty Donnie through, why did I shake his hand? Why did I show him a sign of respect? And it's simple, Tom.
Yes, sir.
This man went to war with me in a match that I never thought that he would be able to survive. And he kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and coming back and coming back. And I'll admit it, you're dirty because you're like a cockroach, bro. You didn't want to die. You didn't want to die. You wanted to be that pesky insect that literally tried to outsmart me. But in the end, I was victorious. But I showed him respect because if a man like that can go through that much pain and torture by me and still fight, that shows me that he has balls. That shows me that he, no matter if he knew walking in it was a losing effort, he still gave it all that he got. And Joe, the referee, he made the decision to call for the bell because Dirty could not answer it. He couldn't answer anything. His body shut down on him, and Joe did the right thing. But Dirty, I'm gonna say this: if you're watching, much respect to you, man. I have a lot more respect for you than I did going into this match. And trust me, brother, if there ever comes a time again that we cross paths, maybe things will wind up ending up a little bit different.
Anthony Steele, I'm listening to this, and you've been coming on here now for almost 2.5 years. You have had some of the most memorable appearances in Sportzwire radio and even, I'd say, wrestling podcast or radio history. And I just heard you say words I never thought I would hear you say. You respect someone, and especially someone that since you've come to the IMF to be a full-time roster member here now for almost 10 months, you and Dirty it has been a war. He has tried to put you through almost every hurdle possible, and you have certainly passed them. and you have passed them with flying colors, and that's why you were the longest reigning IMF United States champion in history. But it sounds like I might need to get my ears checked, or you just said the unthinkable. Maybe the most controversial thing you've ever said here on this platform. You respect someone, let alone the man that has put you through or attempted to put you through so much here over the past 10 months, and Dirty Donnie. Did you just say you respect him?
Yeah. See, going into this match, I thought Dirty was going to be a walk in the park. I thought that he was going to give up within the first 3, maybe 4 minutes of this match. But
I know it's a lot to think about, Anthony. It's a lot to think about.
But like, he surprised me, and not a lot of people can do that. And you know, I give it to Dirty for one thing and one thing only, is that yeah, he put me through hell. He made my time these past 9 months in IMF something that a lot of people could have not overcame.
That's true.
And while turning it into the longest United States title reign IMF's ever seen, this is going to be the most memorable IMF United States title reign, title scene ever. And that's because whether people like me or they hate me, I proved one thing, and that is that I'm not going to give up until I tell myself that it's time. And going to this, after my leg was kind of,
I could see that. 100%. I mean, you've got obviously also, you have a shoulder brace. You got that. Certainly you're on from most of your shoulder up to your almost your hand. So you're dealing with that. And I mean, I think I'm floored tonight. I'm floored in the fact that this seems more like a humble Anthony Steele, a legit humble Anthony Steele, and talking about what you've went through, talking about fighting. You talk about your injury. You talk about what Dirty put you through. And I mean, this is definitely a controversial appearance just alone in what you said here in 5 minutes.
We'll see. Like, right here, prime example.
Yes,
he outsmarted me. He baited me in, and he did some damage. So, in my eyes, do I think that Dirty Donnie thought he had a chance to win this match? No.
You were on here before that saying you were going to get Dirty, and you almost were nonchalant about it. You mentioned him on here in the past, and it was almost like you were building for this for what, 2 months, 2.5 months for this moment?
And after this match, I realized that the whole thing Dirty wanted to prove wasn't that he was doing this to be a thorn in my side. Dirty was doing this to see if I could rise to the occasion. He wanted to see if I was going to take the ball and run with it. And it took him actually stepping in the ring with me to understand that that's all I'm made for in this industry, is doing anything and everything I can to not only put on the best performance that I can of the night, but make it known that there's a reason for everything that I do.
But that's something you said. You said months ago on here. You remember when you first came to the IMF? You talked about it on here, and you said, I never forget this. You said you had a lot to prove. You wanted to show people that you're not this guy that runs through companies and you change them like laundry. No. You have shown to the world that this has been your home. This is the longest by far you've been in a company in years. We're talking about the days of NJGPW. That's how long it's been that you've been home in a company this long. So really since day one, when you announced over 9 months ago that you were coming to the IMF to be a full-time roster member, that's what you've had to prove. That's what you do.
And that's the one thing that I wanted to prove to Dirty. As like I said, when I make a promise, I keep it. And I made a promise to Dirty Donnie when he signed me that this run in IMF is not like my run in the other companies. This run is a place where I'm going to not only know but feel home. And I think Dirty now understands that I'm not here for a short time. I'm here for a long time. And he's going to be seeing this face a lot more. But now at least I hope with that handshake right there,
We played it a second time because really this was shocking.
To see this face.
Well, this is just, I mean, for a lot of people here, this is shocking. I mean, because you showed a sign of respect to a man that you have been battling since you've come to the IMF. We also know the history between the Wolves and the Foundation. And what you've said about Dirty, these especially last couple of months, you were building for this moment, and yet you showed this. You show a humbleness. Maybe you see things differently. I mean, maybe. What do you think? I mean, was this just the plan all along, or I mean, what is something changed? Do you think?
The only thing that's changed is actually we'll get into that. But
well, you know what? Maybe you know what it is. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony. You got this. Go ahead. I put the IMF link up for people to check it out.
Later on that night, I enter the Rumble at number 7.
I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna put that up in a minute. So go ahead.
And you know, going into this, I literally, like, my mind was focused on one thing, and that is making sure whether I win or lose in the Rumble that I give it all that I got. And it just, anything and everything kept happening. It was whether someone wanted to attack my knee, someone wanted to jump off a rope, miss their target, and wind up hitting me. Whether people wanted to attack me and Felix, because let it be known, me and Felix ran that Rumble.
Yes,
like it was our yard.
You did. You were running it very well.
But for me to not be in there 100%, to get 7 eliminations, that meant a lot to me. But what didn't mean a lot to me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm about to give someone their props. Drago did the one thing that I didn't think that he would do.
Whoa. But, are you saying?
But
go ahead. Okay, because I'm lost here on this. Go ahead.
But Drago did the one thing I would have done. Yeah. But I'll give Drago this. Drago's created history himself. Drago's cashed in the Shot of Glory briefcase inside the Rumble. Something that's never been done before. But it would have never been possible for him to do that if it wasn't for Omen Black hitting me with the IMF World Heavyweight Championship. And that's the one thing that's been rattling my brain for these past couple weeks. And what I want to know is why, Omen.
Well, he didn't want to talk
Why?
about you on Friday. He did not want to
Well,
bring you up.
he doesn't want to talk about me, but I'm going to talk about him. Omen Black, why did you hit me with the IMF World Championship? Was it a mistake? Was it a complete accident? Or was it on purpose, Omen? Was it for the simple fact that you know and you knew that going into this, I was one of the biggest targets in here, and I was one of the biggest people that you knew who that had the potential to win this. And you know, what I find the most disrespectful is Omen earlier that night. You couldn't get the pinfall yourself to retain the IMF World Championship. Damien also stood there and got the win. And for you to look at me after I just went through hell earlier in the night and then go through 20 other guys to win this match, you ask me to give my shot to you so that way you can get the world title back?
Well, he said that, to be fair,
You
on previous shows when we talked about the Rumble and the Wreck. Don't you remember? And you also remember King of Palo? Remember when you were in that? And you said the same thing there. Like when you'd win the King of Palo, and you would have that, and I guess that maybe leads to some of those things that have been talked about here in the past. And let me ask you, have you opened your eyes? I mean, Soldier GP is here, and he wanted to say what it sounds like to me is that, have you opened your eyes to recent developments these last few months?
open my eyes. Soldier, I heard what you said. And the question is this an eye-opening moment? See, that hasn't been ringing in my head. The question that's been ringing in my head the most, Soldier, is what do I do?
What do you
Do I do
mean,
what's best for the house and give Omen Black this opportunity at the IMF World Heavyweight Championship? And the fact of the matter is, I don't know.
Think about. It's a lot to think about for you because obviously you won. You won the Rumble and the Wreck, but you seem conflicted because after you won the Rumble and the Wreck, you walked away from Omen Black and Felix Jones. I mean, why did you walk away from them?
Because I was hurt.
You're hurt.
Not physically. But emotionally. Because Omen, you made a mistake. If it wasn't for you, what's about to happen right here would have never transpired. If it wasn't for you hitting me with that championship, I would still have mine around my waist.
And there it goes. That run that you had magically for 9 months. 9 months, you were the United States champion, the longest reigning United States champion in history, one of the longest reigning champions of any championship in IMF history, and all goes to wayside. And obviously, I guess then you hold Omen Black accountable for that.
See, then again, I don't know, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is I need the answer on why. Because if it was a mistake, Omen, just admit it. Just admit it was a mistake that you didn't want it to happen. Or is that what you actually did want to happen?
Well, let me ask you a question. You said something interesting here because we see Felix Jones, right? What he's done since he's joined the Wolves. And there's also been talk about Jason Storm, who's joined the Wolves, and he's going to be in action certainly this weekend, Summer Bash 3 against Soldier GP, who's here in the chat. And maybe if I said to you, Anthony Steele, that you've been passed by in the Wolves, you're no longer right there side by side with Omen Black. Omen Black has talked about here on this platform, and he talked about it on Friday's show about himself, Felix Jones, and Jason Storm. And when he was here last, it was more of a trio. You're an NBA guy similar to, at the time, Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. Now, when I think about Wade, Bosh, and LeBron in the House of Wolves, it was Black, Storm, and Felix. Anthony Steele wasn't that third part. He was just that, well, Udonis Haslem. I mean, that's what you are. You're the Udonis Haslem of that run. And maybe that's something that Omen Black sees. He doesn't see from his eyes that you're at the top of the food chain in the Wolves. What is your thoughts on that?
That's what he truly thinks. Omen, let it be known. Let it be known, Omen, that if you think that I'm not a big part of this, if it wasn't for me, dude, the Midwest Express has crumbled. They lost the gold to Soldier GP and Justin Parsley. So I get it. You know, you wanna make the Wolves stronger. You want to make them the most powerful faction in all of underground wrestling. But don't sit there and forget who stood by you at the beginning. Because Felix wasn't there. Storm wasn't there. I was. I was the one that stood side by side with you when Soldier GP did what he did. I was the one standing right beside you when Soldier teamed with Parsley. And that leads me to this next thing, because like I said, it's all going to come full circle. It's all going to come full circle because Omen, the one thing you respected about me is when I made a promise, I kept it. So I'm going to make you a promise, Omen. And that's at July 19th, a one-night stand. You're going to get the answer from me.
You're going to get the answer? July 19th?
You're going to get the answer of whether or not, if I give you my opportunity, because it's the best thing to do, or if I see through whatever you're planning. Because I don't know yet, Omen. I don't know what's going on, and I've been rewatching tape. But you'll have your answer, Omen. And I'm gonna look you dead in your face when I tell you it. Because I'm man enough to give you that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Anthony Steele has opened his eyes and has said things we never thought we would hear on this platform. First of all, to recap, he respects Dirty Donnie. He respects Dirty Donnie for what he put Anthony Steele through. That's first. Second, it seems like Anthony Steele really has opened his eyes. According to Soldier GP, one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions and the All Wrestling Matters Champion. And on top of that, he may even see the tea leaves that, well, he doesn't know his place in the House of Wolves still, and he's going to give Omen Black an answer at One Night Stand, July 19th, which, ladies and gentlemen, is 20 days from now. It's less than 3 weeks from now. It's less than 3 weeks from now, and he's going to give him his answer when it comes to, well, his Rumble in the Wreck win, which could lead him to a title shot. But before I get to some more of that, I was curious, though, because you've talked about the IMF Championship, and I know you kind of alluded to a little while ago, sir, about the fact that there is 2 champions at the moment. How do you feel about that? I mean, you did allude to Damian Saint. We saw Damian Saint there in the tape. Omen didn't even want to talk about it. He said he's going to be the champion. Everything's in control. Everything's going to plan. By December 31st, he'll still be the full IMF champion. He'll walk out of here. But how do you feel about that situation right now with 2 champions? And we know we have a show coming up before that where both men are going to be in action.
I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet, Tom.
Yes, sir.
And that's if Omen can't get the job done, I will. I've been in the ring with Saint. I know how he moves. I know how he talks, he walks, how he goes about business. So, Omen, I hope you do what's best for the Wolves. And you bring the world title fully back to the house.
Well, interesting that you just said something interesting. I'm going to put the poster up here for Shots of War, but you said correct me if I'm wrong, did you say bring the championship back to the Wolves?
Fully back to the Wolves.
Okay, that's
there's no need. There's no need for 2 world champions. There's only room for 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point, but I was curious on that last point that you made, because you said back to the Wolves. So I imagine then, do you consider yourself still a member of the Wolves? Do you consider yourself a full card-carrying member of the House of Wolves?
Like I said, Tom, until I fully get all the information I need, those are still my brothers. I stand beside them. And I stand beside Felix. Because like I said, me and him ran that Rumble.
You guys did.
Like it was our own house, man. And that's the biggest thing. Is me and Felix made the Rumble look like our own personal tag team playground. I had his back, he had mine. But you know what? I think it's time to talk about this real quick.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to put the One Night Stand poster up because Maddie is giving us that poster. Go ahead. You do that while I make the
Shots of War.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring that back up one more time.
Okay, we'll do that because it's your Anthony Steele, so I'm gonna certainly do that here. Give me 1 second. Oops, wrong poster. There you go, Anthony. Go ahead, continue.
IMF Shots of War. I got a challenge to make.
You do?
Because I hear through the grapevine that there's a man that's going to be there that I faced a long time ago. But it didn't go the way it was supposed to. So now it's time to get the match that was originally supposed to happen. So I'm gonna lay out the challenge, and I hope that you're listening. I hope that you're watching, and I hope that you understand that this is for real. At IMF Shots of War, July 18th, Gabe Sayers,
Whoa. Say that
me and
again?
you finally go one-on-one, Gabe. And trust me, dude, in the mood that I'm in, I hate to be you in that predicament.
Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the real deal Anthony Steele is really getting a match. And it's ironic, Anthony, because it's almost 1 year to the day that you wrestled Gabe Sayers. You wrestled him in a place that obviously, go look at the tape where it was. And there was obviously someone else in the match that was here Friday night. But you're getting Gabe Sayers one-on-one. The real deal versus the Heartstopper. A man that I've met in real life. You're going to finally get him one-on-one. And I mean, I guess this might be the moment where Gabe's heart really does stop, because the mood you're in tonight with what you've been doing recently, I don't know if I'd want to be Gabe Sayers here. Something tells me you're not going to be driving him from the airport and staying with you, because the mood that you're in, this is going to be certainly, I guess, a day of atonement, basically, for you and what's been going on of late.
Like I said, Tom, I hate to be him when he shows up July 18th. And Gabe,
Well,
it's nothing personal, man. I like you. I respect you. I respect the grind, the hustle, and everything that you're doing is business. And in this business, when one thing doesn't go the way that it needs to be, somehow, some way, I'll find a way to get it there. And it took almost a year's time, Gabe. But in a year's time, I know you've been training. I know you've been working and getting yourself mentally and physically prepared for anything and everything to come. But nothing can prepare you for me.
Wow. This is shocking. I mean, I've actually met Gabe Sayers before you have in the last year, and you were supposed to wrestle him one-on-one, and now you're getting him. I mean, boy, this is definitely going to be a declaration of a shot of war here coming up July 18th. That's less than 3 weeks from now, and we're going to see a dream match, a match that a lot of people have wanted to see one-on-one in the underground for the better part of 2 years, and it could very well be Gabe Sayers' Day of Atonement here, because we're going to see it. The real deal, Anthony Steele, the 2025 Rumble in the Wreck winner, the longest reigning IMF United States champion of all time, against the Heartstopper, Gabe Sayers. Of course, a man from places that you've seen, such as GTS, obviously NEW, where he has been at the center of a lot of things, and TF Crew, the company he owns. We're going to see Gabe Sayers and Anthony Steele, a dream match here, and I'm sure many more matches are going to be announced before July 18th, and we're going to be here a bunch of times before then. We're here Thursday night previewing Summer Bash 3. I'm sure Anthony Steele is going to address that. We have a lot of people here in the chat that want to talk to Anthony, and I also have something from management I want to reveal in a second before I make the transition to the chat, and I've got something for you, Anthony. I've got a gift for you. Not quite maybe a gift from Omen Black, but close enough of a gift. You actually haven't gotten this yet on Sportswire, but I do have the poster up here. I'm very excited about that poster. We want to thank management for giving us this opportunity to get the poster. But here it is. Let me put it up, and voila, technology is a funny thing. And there you go. One night stand it is. And Anthony Steele, you're going to be there, I hear.
You're right. And Felix, I see you. I see you in the comments, and I think it's time for me and you to bring it full circle, right? Because when we first saw each other inside the doors of IMF, we were sinners,
Yes, it's a while ago now, Anthony. That feels like years ago now.
and I feel like everything's starting to come full circle for us, Felix. Because I think that it's time that we bring something else back to the House of Wolves. So, Felix, what do you say, man? Why not a IMF one night stand? Me and you team up to face the real monsters for the IMF Tag Team Championships.
Whoa! You want to talk about a mic drop? You want to talk about something real? That's the real deal? The Prince of Professional Wrestling, Felix Jones, and the real deal, Anthony Steele, teaming up to challenge the real monsters? Soldier GP and Justin Parsley? Boy, this is real. This is going to be real. And wow, for the IMF Tag Team Championships. And the irony of this, Anthony, is that you're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame with Justin Parsley, but you never teamed with each other. But now, coming up here in less than 3 weeks on July 19th, you're actually going to team with Felix Jones. And you very well, if you guys have it your way, could be the really winning those IMF Tag Team Championships. Boy, Anthony Steele, you're all over the place tonight.
And I see a comment in here. Hey Jade, I
Yes,
don't care
sir,
if
Mr.
Parsley's
Jaguar.
medically cleared. I can't 100% confirm that, but all I know is something needs to be done. And Omen, you're all about proving, right? Proving yourself to the house. So what's a better way to prove that I'm a big part of this by me and Felix bringing back the tag team titles where they truly belong. And Felix, while you get ready to answer that, that leads me to my next statement.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we brought up a show, a little show called
Yes.
Summer Bash.
Yes,
Happening
Summer
this
Bash.
weekend.
I'm familiar with it. We're all here Thursday night to discuss it. Yes, Summer Bash.
So again, bring it full circle, Tom, because something happened at Summer Bash last year.
Are we talking about a match you had that with an individual we're not going to bring up because
No. I did something for someone last year.
Oh, yes. We're talking about the PWF Championship. Yes, I remember that very well.
And,
I'm aware of that.
and
I'm glad
Parsley,
you want to talk about that because I'm not going to talk about the first match you had.
I helped you win that championship almost 1 year ago. So now it's time that me and you finally meet one-on-one in the middle of that squared circle. Because I want you for the PWF World Championship at Summer Bash. Let's see if the real one can be a real deal at Summer Bash. Because without Soldier GP you're nothing. Without Anthony Steele, you're nothing. Without Felix Jones, you're nothing. And I'm gonna expose you, Parsley.
He's got Princess JD though. He's got Princess JD, so at the very least, he's got a backup plan.
I'm gonna expose you, Parsley.
Expose
and I'm gonna
it.
show you. And I'm gonna show you why. We both came from a company, and we both made history there.
You did. You definitely did. You made some history.
But in this industry, you're the old head that's about to be schooled by the new school. Because without me, you wouldn't have that. And now it's going to be me on the reason why you lose that championship.
So you want to take it all away from Justin Parsley. You want to take, Anthony, you really are a controversial figure. Let's just say you do live up to that. I know a lot of people in the chat are here and they want to talk to you. I'm going to get to them. I do have something for you, but it seems like you have more of a score to settle with Justin Parsley more than anybody else now, because let me get this straight. Justin Parsley, a man that you shared a locker room with in a company that we shall certainly not name, a company that I don't even remember what their name was. You guys were both in a locker room there. Okay, fine. You didn't square off and wrestle there. Summer Bash, you obviously had quite a history together there, where it led to a tag team that never happened, and certainly the Sinners, and you helped him win the PWF championship. But now you want to take that away from him, and then if July 19th goes the way you want, you also want to take that IMF Tag Team Championship away from him. I mean, boy, you just want to take it all from Justin Parsley. That seems to be real.
Nah, see, I don't want... It's not about taking everything away from Parsley. No, it's getting the respect I deserve out of Parsley. Because Parsley, I'll say it again, without me, that championship would never have been around your waist. And let's go back. I think it was November. When you and Felix attacked me.
Yes, it was November. Yes, it was November. It was November.
You thought it was all going to be fine and dandy. And then I had to put my hands on you later on that night to hopefully get you to understand that I called you a brother. I called you my friend. And you took all of that for granted. And then I come to help you the next month to retain against James Taylor and Soldier GP. And what do? You kick me in my mouth. So then I knew I had to pay you a receipt. And I left you laying. And Soldier had to come pick up the pieces. Your babysitter had to come pick you up, buddy. So, Parsley, what I want and what you're going to give me is very simple. I want Anthony Steele versus Justin Parsley. No house. No real monsters. No Felix. No Soldier. One-on-one. Mano-y-mano. For the PWF World Heavyweight Championship at Summer Bash. Because I'm going to say this. I'm looking for your respect. Prove to me that you deserve mine.
Anthony, I want to ask you one more question. We're here with Anthony Steele, the 2025 Rumble in the Wreck winner, who has come here with vengeance tonight on Sportzwire. His long-awaited return here. I will get to everybody here in the chat. But, it's interesting that I've heard you talk about a number of figures. You talked about Dirty. You have respect for him. I got that. You've talked about Omen. July 19th, he gets his answer. I got that. You've also challenged Gabe Sayers. July 18th, I got that. You've also addressed Soldier GP, although he was rather complimentary to you. To his credit, he was complimentary to you. Talked about maybe you've opened your eyes. It seems like you actually just opened your eyes just there because we can see them through the glasses, which is a good thing. We love seeing your beautiful eyes. You've talked about him. You want to take the tag team championships away from him and Justin Parsley. You also want to take the PWF championship away from Justin Parsley. You've been complimentary about Felix Jones. You're going to team with Felix Jones if Mr. Parsley agrees with that. Soldier's already agreed. But I've heard you say very little about the man that took the United States Championship away from you in Il Drago, other than, I would have did the same thing. I would have thought right away you would have wanted vengeance on him because the way he won that championship, even Omen kind of addressed that briefly on Friday's show. I mean, so it seems like the guy that you should have been speaking about more than anyone else here tonight is the guy you've probably spoke the least about in Il Drago. What's up with that?
Simple, Tom.
Yes, sir.
And Drago did what he had to do. Drago capitalized on a moment just like I would have. And if the roles were reversed, I would have done the same thing.
You regret doing what you did to Il Drago, burning those Ulafalas, getting back and forth with his other half. Shout out to Kiera's Comfy Creations, by the way. If you're out there somewhere, go buy some of her designs, please. They're always supporting us, so please support them. But you regret maybe some of the things you did to Il Drago and maybe some of the things you said about his family?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
No.
No? Why not?
For the reason being, if I never did any of that, we would have never got that Drago that we needed. We would never got that Drago that was hiding in the darkness behind the foundation. Drago finally took his ball and ran with it. He cashed in. He ended the longest reign of that United States Championship. But now, Drago, the weight's on your shoulders. Can you do what I did? Can you hold that title up near that world championship? Can you make it not just a secondary title in IMF, but can you make it a name in IMF? Because while I held that title, people were talking about the United States Championship. Now that you have it, if you don't succeed, if you don't prosper with this championship, Drago, everything that you said will be nothing but lies. Everything you've built will be nothing but a hoax. And most importantly, you're letting me and your family down. So, with that being said, Drago, we're going to cross paths. But I think my time with that United States Championship is done for now.
Okay. All right. That's a fair point to be made. And Omen certainly said that in the foundation. Drago, he has kind of respect for him, but he also had some other things, the usual talk about the foundation. But something tells me that we'll have plenty to say about that here over the next little while. It's time to get to the chat, though. We'll take that to the side for now because the people have been waiting all night to chat with you, Anthony. You haven't been here in weeks. It is now time to say hello. Hopefully, you say hello to some of the people that are here. Zilla is in the house. She wants to say hello to you. And thank you, Zilla, for tuning in. And we appreciate you. And I bought you some time, so we don't have to really acknowledge my comment. And Ox McCoy is here. The other part of the House of Wolves, who's been extremely dominant. And he also disposed of a man that you shared a locker room with in other places, Cato, the controversial one, Cato. And Ox has got a really big match.
Say controversial one, but okay.
Yeah, you can say Cato. The controversial one. Yeah, the controversial one. Cato, I mean,
The
you should locker room.
The self-proclaimed.
Have you seen what?
Well,
no, to be fair, Cato's been in IWA recently. We saw him with the Juggalos. He's all over the place right now. I mean, Cato is definitely a man that he's coming back to Sportswire. I mean, are you saying that you know something about Cato that we should know about, or is there something there not complimentary you have for Cato?
I know that he ain't as controversial as me, and trust me, if he was,
I think he has a very controversial career.
If he were to step in the ring with me, I'd do him worse than what.
Well, Cato could very well be showing back up to IMF soon. We asked that question to him, and that's an open-ended question. And I think that the fans would love to see Cato back. So I would certainly say you'll have to tune into when Cato comes back here on Sportswire and addresses those things. But
it wouldn't be an Anthony Steele stream without doing something like this. Cato.
Yeah, Cato,
I hope you're listening. I love you, boss. But I'm gonna tell you this: you're not controversial. You're just another man that takes an ass whooping and likes to bleed. But the difference in this whole situation, Cato, if you come to step up against me, my name's not Mac 10.
I don't know who that is.
Deal, Anthony.
That was a great rapper, though, by the way. It was a great rapper named Mac 10. Well, I know there was a great rapper named Mac 10, West Side Connection, certainly from Ice Cube's group. I don't know of anybody in the ring with that name, but I do know that Cato is an outstanding performer. And Ox McCoy has an outstanding match here coming up on July 18th against Bogat. And I am very excited about that. I have no doubt that.
Yeah, Ox, show up for this one, because where the fuck were you at the Rumble?
Well, he's a busy man. He's probably getting ready to go annihilate Bogat. That's what he was ready for. I mean, so I'm going to give him a pass on that. But I said hello to everybody, and then we're waiting for you. And then I said hello. And let's get to non-me comments saying hello. Hello to Ox. Yes, we say hello to Ox despite Anthony, what he had to say. And, he explained a lot tonight. Prentice JD, who I guess you sort of have a weird history with. Have you bought any worry stones from her? She sells these worry stones that help you with stress. You seem like you have a little bit of stress, a little bit of decisions on your mind to make that maybe you're thinking of. Have you bought these worry stones that this big Justin Parsley fan has? I still don't know what they are.
Sorry, I don't worry about Justin Pussy Lips fan base.
We have chill. She's a minor. We're gonna definitely bleep that out. If
exactly. That's kind of weird.
Girl's listening, cover your.
Jade, hop off a grown man's balls for a minute and quit being a fucking goddamn ring rat. So.
We'll move on. Thank you for the comment. Christian JD, cover your ears and pretend that never existed. We also have LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis tomorrow. We really want to make sure that Mr. Lewis didn't hear that comment, because then all of a sudden the band won't want to come on, and we want them to come on because we need their views for us on the platform. He's only sold like 2 or 3 million records in his career. They'll go elsewhere. We don't want that. But my buddy Anthony Finkel, who I know went to bed, but he's celebrating his 1-year anniversary with his wife, says hello. And I was actually the man that helped him get married because I signed his papers as well. I'm a notary. That's the law. But we'll move on from that. Anthony's got a great band called Fester. They just played last weekend. They'll be in Virginia soon. The man that I'm sure we'll come back to in a little while is here, and I think he heard some of the things you had to say. And Bren is here. Bren obviously tuned in. You're back. Hello. There was a guy that looked like you, by
What's
the way.
good, boss?
There was a guy that looked like you that was refereeing an NEW match. I don't know if you've heard about him. He looks like you a little shorter though. Actually, a lot shorter. You'll have to go back and watch last afternoon's NEW show. You'll have to. I'll explain it to you. I know you're a busy man. I don't think you're watching much else other wrestling but IMF, right? Okay, we'll move on.
I watch my matches.
But you watch IMF though. Well, all right. Hit the sub button for the IMF. Well, Anthony doesn't even. He's in La La Land right now. But yes, hello to Soldier. Hello to Soldier. And Ox is not happy with Soldier's comment about, again, which we addressed earlier, that you've opened your eyes. You definitely opened them, but now more confused than ever with you. Princess JD thinks you've opened your eyes, and she earns you before what you said about her. She respected you a little bit, but now that should be all taken away. Definitely taken away.
So here's the thing, Jade.
Yes.
Like,
I've got it ready in case please don't address her with private parts.
I'm gonna be real with you, Jade.
Good.
I earned your respect. Cool. I earned a little bit. That's fine. But see, in here, this is a business matter, and I know you like your boy Parsley, but let me put it down to your 14-year-old, terms. Justin Parsley, he kind of overstepped my boundaries, and now I have to take care of him.
All right, we're going to the next comment. We're going to the next comment here. We want LA Guns to be on Sportswire tomorrow. Please, hopefully the band's management didn't hear this.
It's simple, Jade.
Felix Jones says, no, we need to move on. We need to move on. We're not going to talk about things that this girl is 14 years old, Anthony.
No. It's
I like to give you something, Anthony.
You don't know Parsley from who you think. You don't know Parsley like you think you do.
Well, that's fair. I'll give you that. I'm allowing that. I'm allowing that. Yes, we're allowing that one here. That weekend was unfair for us. Yeah, you guys had a really interesting weekend, a confusing weekend. I'm more confused with your responses than I ever was before. Felix, you're just mad you didn't take the tag titles from the Real Monsters, just the truth. Well, it seems like you want to rectify this on July 19th, so we'll have to find out, that's for sure. Then bring me on, and I'll give you what you want. Well, we'll talk about that. We're going to get through the comments here first. The Real Deal, Danielle Steele. Danielle Steele's an author, though. I don't think you've written a book yet about your in-ring career, right?
Parsley. Your time's coming. And it's coming very, very soon.
Well, he is owed an appearance on Sportswire.
And there's only one thing I want you to understand. There's only one thing I want you to understand, Parsley. Is that when a man has nothing left to lose, he's the most dangerous version of himself. I have nothing left to lose here. You do. And I just need you to know that Parsley, it looks like you're back. It looks like you're healed up. So it also looks like you're going to give me what I want, which is also a good but bad decision for you. But you're grown.
Mm-hmm.
You're grown. And you're going to make a grown man decision within the next 5 days.
I think that's a valid point, and we're here Thursday night, and maybe he'll give us an answer by Thursday night because we'll be previewing Summer Bash 3, and I'm sure you'll be here Thursday night.
But
You missed
I
that
just
part.
hope that your babysitter Soldier GP has your pillow and blanket ready. Because when I get done with you, it's night time, buddy.
Well, I think that it would be a great match. It would certainly be a better match than one you had last year with an individual that will certainly not be commenting on, but I will be certainly commenting on what you have to say here in the chat. Also, W8. Yeah, we're not going there. We are not going there. We are not going there. And yes, we see Justin Parsley, and it seems like he's getting close to being healthy. Jason Storm isn't even in the house, but I am under the impression he is in the House of Wolves. What do you think about Jason Storm, by the way? A man that he seems to have been in the House of Wolves, at least last I checked, and Omen Black was very complimentary of him and wanting him to take the All Wrestling Matters Championship away from Soldier GP. What is your opinion on that?
Storm, I don't know if you're a placeholder in the house. I don't know if Omen's trying to recruit you to potentially replace me. But what I'm gonna tell you, I need you to understand, man. You like to say there's not a dude in ROEW that can touch you.
The owner's been having a lot of problems with him. The owner has been having, major problems with him.
Well, guess what, Storm? It's a good thing I ain't never stepped foot in ROEW. Because that means I can touch you and beat you down if you stand in my way.
Well, this is the unity. What about unity? Omen says unity. Jason Storm and you, who really knows?
The unity is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Before I have you switching lanes like Paul Walker.
Well, we certainly hope to see him in the final Fast and the Furious movie. We certainly hope Jason Storm has a long career and a much longer life than Paul Walker did. But I did see the new Brad Pitt movie, the F1 movie. Speaking of changing lanes, go check it out. I don't know who's good looking, but I'm going to say we'll leave the comment and let it stand. Shut Up Parsley and OPP. Well, that was a Naughty by Nature song, but I don't think she'd know the reference. She's too young.
That's oop.
Oh,
that says oop.
Oh, I had OPP though. OPP, which is a Naughty by Nature song, which was the New York Giants Super Bowl theme song when they won in 2008. But yes, he is here, and Omen obviously wants you to know that everything that I said is nonsense and that everything is fine in the House of Wolves. And he said there was a plan on Friday. There was a plan. Everything's going to go into place. Foundation's still crumbling. Drago will figure it all out. And Jason Storm, like I said, going to take the All Wrestling Matters Championship away from Soldier. And he's going to take the title away fully from Damian Saint. Damian Saint's going to go and lose regardless on July 18th. And Omen's going to take care of business, and it's all under. Everything's under plan. Soldier didn't even pin him. That's true. You won a belt again? Yeah, you did. You confirmed you wanted a belt. I can't see anything but you, my man. I think that's the Soldier. I've made the house the most dominant group in the underground, not once, but twice. That's a good point. 2 years ago, and what we saw at the end of the calendar year. That's a good point. And what Omen is trying to say on his show, that you did play a role in that. You did play a role in that. And yes, I think hopefully Justin Parsley's feeling well. And based mostly off the cast of The Sinners, but that's just good business for real. And the house is unstoppable, see? Unstoppable thanks to Anthony Steele. Thanks to Anthony Steele. That's what he does. More unstoppable than The Sinners. And hello to Omen Black. And Zilla is a big Omen Black fan and a big Felix Jones fan, but Felix Jones is not a Zilla fan. That's just what I've learned. Who else we got? Yeah, Gabe Sayers. Gabe Sayers. We're going to finally see a match. It's going to be a day of atonement for you, and a day of atonement, and it's going to come place here July 18th, Shots of War. And next night, you answered that, and you said here they were crumbling with the found MWE, and how about you team up with them, which you basically did confirm. You wanted that. The Midwest Express, I got the reference now, the Midwest Express. Maybe for the IMF Tag Team Championships, you did complain. Well, you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait. Jake Dvorak, a man that's traveling. Yep.
Dirty.
Hello.
Respectfully.
Yes.
Make it official.
Well, we
Dirty Donnie, I need you to make it official. That way, me and Felix both know that come July 19th, that Parsley and Soulja, the Pussy Brothers, will no longer be your tag team champions.
Well, they are not that name. They are the real monsters, and they continue to hold the IMF Tag Team Championships, and we will see if they will continue to hold those championships for real. We will continue to see.
When you have a group, and I'm gonna comment on this real quick. When you have a group like Anthony Steele and Felix Jones, the Real Deal and the Bastard of the Midwest, versus Soldier Girl Penis and Justin Pussy Lips, we're unstoppable, man.
I thought you were going to continue on this humble mood. I thought you would have opened your eyes, but you've gone back to what you were before. So, I mean,
what can I say? What can I say, Tom?
Don't you want to be humble? You know, listen. Don't you listen? Listen, don't you want to be a God-fearing man? Don't you want to have faith? You know, there are some people out there, Anthony, that they use the letter F for profanity. There are those like some of us that use the letter F for faith. Don't you want to stay focused with no distractions and just grind your way back to the top? Get that maybe IMF Tag Team Championship, that PWF Championship. But again, you go back to using the letter F for profanity, not the letter F for faith. You would think after what that respect you had with Dirty and the fans cheering you, the letter F for the fans cheering you, that maybe you would have changed a bit. But, well, you're still Anthony Steele. You're still the real deal. The most controversial.
One and only.
There's only one you. There is only one you. And we still hope, though, for whatever reason, that you do stay focused with no distractions and grind. We will continue to do that here. And we'll see. Yes. And hello to Jake Dvorak. And Jake's got his own battles that he's been having, and they've been very impressive. Comatose, who was here yesterday, who's had his own battles inside and outside the ring. I mean, basically, he might be outside the ring more controversial than you. He's been dealing with, let's say, court battles, sobriety battles, legal battles, and he might have one-upped you on those things, but
that just sounds like his life fucking sucks.
Well, it just also could mean that, well, he's using the letter F for fighting. He's fighting for survival, and we hope that he uses the letter F for faith and not for F for profanity, because we stay focused with no distractions and grind. And yes, we are quoting my friend, the New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Why? I have no idea. But we will say hello to everybody here. We have a lot of comments to get through. Felix likes your thinking. Take the PWF title, then we'll take those tag titles. Anthony Steele could have more gold than ever before. And Zilla wants another chance with Felix. And do you think that Felix should give Zilla another chance? You're a big Zilla fan.
I mean, I could talk to Felix, maybe talk to some.
That's very kind of you, Anthony. You know, maybe you're all right after all, Anthony. Maybe you are using the letter F for faith. You know what? Justin Parsley wants to remind you about last year in Bremen, Ohio. Did you eliminate Forsaken at the end to become the current first and only PWF champion? I know it was a long time ago, like a year.
I mean, but who's the one that saved you from getting eliminated like, what, 5-6 times?
Win's a win. Win's a win.
Like, you know what, Parsley? I'm going to say it.
And what do you think about
over that top rope?
What do you think about Darkron here coming up? What do you think about Darkron challenging Omen Black at Summer Bash for that IMF championship. All this talk about Omen being the real world champion. What if Darkron puts a wrench in those plans?
That's funny.
He's motivated. He's motivated. He has talked about wanting.
He was motivated against me in that cage, and he still lost.
Well, now it's different. Now it's different. He doesn't have to worry about what's going on in Bremen, Ohio, housing Summer Bash. He's got his mind clear. He's fighting for his survival of his career. He doesn't know how many more matches he's got left, and this could be the moment. So we will get to more comments, and we have more of them here. And I don't even know who's who, but we ain't coming to defend those tag titles. GP, those boys are going to know we've already come. So I think that's that. And yeah, there you go. We will get to more things here. I can't even read. Brother, they know what it is, Parsley. Yeah, they do. You know what time it is. And Princess JD says the greatest IMF tag team champions of all time are Justin Parsley and Soldier GP. What about the Midwest Express? I mean, we got to, what about the run they had? They were pretty good, I thought.
I mean,
they were pretty good. They were good champions. They were great champions.
Jay, you're gonna pick who you want to pick. Just know sometimes you're wrong.
We have the Prophet is here. Who is the Prophet? Hello. Thank you.
What up, Sticks?
Oh, okay. You know him. Okay, good. All right. You know him. Thank you, Sticks, for tuning in. Hopefully you're related to the band Sticks. My buddy Barry Gutman. Barry, where have you been? I haven't seen you in months. I hope you're doing well, my brother, out there in Brooklyn. And the real appeal, Anthony Steele. That's, you are the real deal, but we'll let it pass. Hello. And Jason Storm is here. Have no fear, Jason Storm. Obviously, very happy to see you. Glad that your brother is here. And he is saying you're the real deal. So everything's good with you and Storm.
That's not my brother.
Yeah, he's saying you're brothers.
That's not.
You guys are House of Wolves together. You guys are Wolves brothers, obviously brothers in arms.
That is a fellow
He's
associate.
naturally selecting you as his brother. He's naturally selecting you as his brother.
You can naturally select these nuts. That still don't make you a damn thing to me.
But you know what? And you guys also naturally have a common enemy that I hear may be coming to Summer Bash. And is not the owner of ROVW either. So, I mean, maybe you really are brothers. I would have tested.
I mean, they do say enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we'll
there
figure
you go.
it out.
That's why Ox missed the Rumble. Okay, there you go. Okay, now I see who I'm talking to. Thank you very much. I have beef with Storm for flipping me off. Well, everybody's got some problems. The truth speaks through. Yes, it does. JD has no little credit. She can't even get her name pronounced. Keep saying it wrong. Yeah, her name. I got it here as Prince JD. Yeah, she can't say it wrong. That's kind of funny, though. I have to say that was a humorous comment there. But thank you for tuning in. Hit the sub button for us in the IMF. How did you know how old I was? First of all, did she tell you how old you were? Next question.
Let's just say her family's a fan of me. So
well, you had a lot of people cheering you at the last show, so I don't blame them. And speaking of people, Chase Wakefield, who also defeated an enemy of yours that you've never met, and I'm sure will never square up in the ring with you. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about that he defeated in the ring? The headline? He defeated a headline, a guy that you have talked about wanting to face but have not faced, and he defeated him a few weeks ago. So just saying hello.
Chase Wakefield, congratulations on beating a nobody.
Well, he's a somebody.
You're welcome.
The headline is that Chase Wakefield is a fan of yours, and he is happy to be here. And I like Chase Wakefield, so we'll leave him alone. Parsley's, yeah, it better be only friends. It better be only friends. That should be the case. You should be as only watching wrestling shows, nothing else. Let's put it that way. And hello there. And obviously, Mr. Jordan Crowley, the Prophet, is here. He is the voice of reason and truth in the IMF, and he's gonna certainly guide you along the right way, right, Anthony? And Soldier GP will be wiped off the map, almost kind of like what Donald Trump tried to do to the nuclear weapons in Iran. I have no idea if he did that, but Jason Storm will hope to have better luck than, let's say, the American bombs toward the Iran nuclear facility in Fodro, Iran. We'll see. But Jason Storm is in the house, and that would make you happy, though. Wouldn't that make you happy if Jason has the All Wrestling Matters Championship, or nah? And he's not a House of Wolves member, so that's fair. Okay, so he's not a House of Wolves member, so there you go. And he's got an alliance with Omen to be the two most dominant champions in underground history, and Damian Saint is a fake champion, which was what he said yesterday. And the share a vision. Yep. And by the way, Dirty is here, and he likes the idea of the tag titles being defended on July 19th, one night stand with you and Felix versus Justin Parsley and Soldier GP. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Dirty, don't try to stack the deck like you always try to do. Sticks, watch your stuff, my man. Do your job. I got mine under control. Mr. 100, man, you respect him, man. You have certainly have feelings for, and a man that you've certainly, who knows, maybe more handshakes could be in the past. You should have that bleep button on your shoulder. I may have to keep it on my shoulder if that's what we're talking about. Dirty, my job is to right the wrongs, to speak of what is and what will be. And your education is coming. I do need an education. I need to go back to school because obviously I'm not doing a good job at this. You know, a few days ago, they were saying I do a news show, Anthony, and my co-host, Heshi Tisher, was saying maybe I should try stand-up comedy. So maybe after this show, I'm doing such a poor job, I'm going to start a career in Manhattan doing stand-up comedy. You can take over instead. You could really get the inside the rope shows you never got. He's wrong. Well, we'll see. You started beef with me, booed me in my face. You deserve the finger. That's some harsh words. Now, obviously, before I bring on someone, Anthony, to talk to you, and Dakota is here. How you doing, Dakota? I think you and Dakota are okay these days.
Hello.
All right, that's nice, Anthony. At least you're certainly showing some more respect these days. And she had a weird dream. Maybe I should let her talk about the dream before I give you something on.
No one cares.
No, we care. We care. She got a lot of subscribers.
No one cares.
No, we care. What's the dream? But please make it not pornographic. Please, no sexual innuendos. What's the weird dream? What's the weird dream? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Because I have a gift for you, Anthony. I have a gift for you. And I want to hear her comment first. And then I want to give you the gift. And then I want to bring on somebody that also has a few gifts for you as well. And
for no one caring about me, didn't you see those fans cheering for me and the fan that had a sign with my name?
Well, maybe she just wanted to choose to remember the Anthony Steele she's known the past 9 months. and okay, look, you know what?
If you want to talk about your dream, go on TikTok. You'll be able to announce whatever your dream was there. This is the Anthony Steele show right now.
You are definitely. I was trying to find your
Dakota Riley show.
Well, you know what? Dakota Riley should come on Sportswire one time. She's on TikTok now. She does live streams. Maybe we'll bring her on Sportswire one day. Maybe she wants to come on. And she ain't in the stands. But Anthony, despite some of the things you've said here the last half an hour, it is Anthony Steele Day here on all Sportswire radio platforms. I don't think you've gotten one of these yet, so I'm going to forget about some of the comments you made.
December 29th. December 29th.
Your birthday. Well, that was your birthday, but that's permanently recognizing you. But this is actually just recognizing you for coming back and giving us some viewers. But no, seriously, it's your day. So we'll give you the physical copy. I know you have like 20 of these here. No, let's not have you on. Why not? Why don't you want to be on Sportswire? Okay, I think we're going to leave this up for a minute. Now, Anthony, I have someone here that wants to talk to you and say a few words toward you and maybe just thank you for all that you've done and celebrating your amazing career and celebrating what you've meant to the IMF and what you've meant certainly to Summer Bash. Now, would you like me to bring this person on?
Respectfully, If you want to take the certificate off, that way I can, whoever this is, I can see.
Yeah, I was going to take it off. I was waiting for you to tell me if I could bring this person on.
I'm fine with it.
You sure? Your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be a show without him. It's his show. It is the IMF champion, as he says, the real IMF world champion. That is none other than the boogeyman of the Midwest, the hardcore god, Omen Black, the House of Wolves leader. The champ is here, and champ, I pass the baton to you, and take it away.
I want to make something clear first. Damian Saint wants to be a thief and steal my IMF World Championship, so I had to go out and get a replacement for now. For now. See, this is where it belongs, right here. Not Damian Saint's shoulders. He's a thief. Not the foundation shoulders, because they get everything they handed to them without no effort. But I didn't come here to talk about that. I came here to talk about the allegations that my fellow brother here thinks what had happened at the Rumble. You asked me if it was a mistake. You asked me if it was on purpose. You asked me if it was on accident. It was definitely an accident. It's clear to anyone it was an accident. I was laying people out, hitting people with my title. I was in the zone, Anthony. Why would you think I would hit you if I knew you were coming right behind me? It's like startling a horse. You know, if you start a horse, come behind a horse and startle it, it's going to kick. That's just a defense mechanism, Anthony. And I apologize. Didn't mean to do it and didn't want to do it. But I'm glad to see it didn't affect you at all with the outcome of winning the Rumble. And, you know, being who I am, don't think I'm not going to right my wrongs. I'm going to get you a shot at your United States title one way or another. I'm going to get you your shot back. Because I think I owe you that. Now I know you're pretty much speechless right now, Anthony. I can tell you're not saying anything.
We were waiting for the punchline there. Yeah, we were waiting for it.
But I want to come on and say I apologize. No, I didn't want you to think I did it on purpose.
And there it is. There it is. There it is. Now,
see, you can tell. You can tell. I didn't know he was right behind me. I was in the zone.
You were walking around, no question, and we're going to slow it down for the tape. There's for the audience, and we see, yeah, you did hit somebody that I know you've wanted to do that for a while, and then
I just didn't hit him hard enough. That's my only thing. My downfall is I didn't hit Nicholas Crunson hard enough.
Well, I'm sure you'll get another chance. Wait a minute! There it goes. There it goes.
See, Anthony, come on.
I believe you, Omen.
I appreciate that. I hope I can right the wrongs and hopefully you'll forgive me. I know maybe not right now. I can respect that. See, I'm not going to be the foundation. You don't accept my apology. I'm not going to kick you to the curb. No, I'm not like that. I believe the good in people, unless you're the foundation.
Forgive and forget, then, Anthony. Forgive and forget.
No, he doesn't have to answer right now if he forgives me or not. I didn't come on here to kind of like, I guess, pry a forgiveness out of him. No, that's fine.
Champ, you apologized. No, that's a big step there. He apologized, Anthony. Omen Black apologized.
The way I look at this is it was an accident. Accidents happen. And
they do.
Now.
Look at the accident of Soldier GP. His mom has to live with that accident forever.
We do
Yeah,
not
and
condone that comment. That comment we do not condone.
Unfortunately, my mom made the mistake of having Soldier GP. So,
Well,
you know,
we are condoning.
but you know what? But you know what? She made right because she had a second son, me. So,
well, that may be so, but we are certainly we are not agreeing with that comment. We appreciate Soldier GP, and we are happy he's born.
Omen, I made a promise earlier, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna do it right now, but a one night stand. I'm gonna look at you in the face, and I'm gonna give you the answer of if I'm giving you the title shot to bring the title back to the house. Because it's what's best for business, right?
Exactly
everything
right.
that we do, there's a reason for it. Everything you do, there's a reason. Everything Felix does, there's a reason. Everything I do, there's a reason. And hopefully Dirty will make it official because there's going to be a reason why the tag team titles come back to the house. And it's going to be because of Anthony Steele and Felix Jones. But I accept your apology. No hard feelings.
So, I guess you really have opened your eyes after all, Anthony, because Omen has come on here and he has apologized and he is saying that forgiveness, and it seems like you have opened your eyes, and you and the House of Wolves are going to take those tag team championships back, as you're going to go do that with Felix Jones coming up on July 19th. You've also got some unfinished business ahead with Gabe Sayers the day before, and if you're going to get that also granted opportunity at Summer Bash 3, to take away the PWF championship from a man that was once your brother and former tag team partner, though you never wrestled with each other, Justin Parsley, it seems like all is well in the Wolves again.
The one thing I've learned about the house, it's a family. And a family,
Indeed, we
must stick
are
together.
Mm.
And Omen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We have the same vision here. And that's to make sure that the foundation get what they truly deserve.
That's exactly right. They've been on top for too long on the mountain they made themselves. And it's time for new mountain climbers to climb to the top and claim what is rightfully theirs.
So it seems like
And we
what
will.
you said, this goes back to what Omen you said on Friday's show, that you had a plan, the Wolves were going to be on top, foundation still crumbling. So it seems like all is well, and what it goes back to Friday's show where you said you had a plan. You had a plan. It seems like the wheels are in motion for that plan. It starts here at Summer Bash, continues at Shot to War, then it goes to One Night Stand, and eventually come August 16th. So we know by the time All Out Warfare comes, the warfare will have been over. The battle will have been over, and the foundation will have been finally defeated. You guys will declare victory by then, and it seems like the plan is going into motion starting from Friday's show into what will eventually lead by August 16th.
See, the vision is, Tom, like Anthony can agree, and so can Felix, Ox, and the Midwest Express. The vision is to make the foundation, every single one of them, an afterthought, a thought of the past, a thought of history, extinct, if you want to call it that. We are tired, and it's not just us, it's everyone in the locker room, everyone that comes on sports, where everyone that's any other locker room that has something to do with the foundation member, we are all tired of the same shtick time and time again. Foundation gets this, foundation gets that.
You said nepotism months ago. The word you used was nepotism. That was the word.
No.
What do you mean?
Omen, there's one thing I will say that you got wrong. It's not the foundation gets this, foundation gets that. It's Soldier GP gets this, Soldier GP gets that. And he just so happens to find his way into anything and everything that he wants. And that's the biggest problem. The leader of the foundation has an ego that he can't fit in his own britches. And you know, there's a magical phrase that I look at the House of Wolves, and it's right now we're cutting the grass to expose the snakes. And Soldier's the biggest one of them all.
But he keeps finding a way to win, though. He's been doing it for the right reasons. He continues to defy the odds.
Let me ask you this time. What's the right reason?
Well, he's doing it for the fans. He's been doing it for the fans. He's been finding ways to fight. And he wants to get the Omen back that he knew. He has said it here in this platform. This is not the Omen that he knew. This is not the Omen that he went up and down the wrestling circuit. That's what he's been saying. That's his word.
Can I correct you on that? This is exactly the same Omen that he went to war with
2 years ago.
Am I wrong?
No, you absolutely. You don't know. 2 years ago, we remember. Listen, you were in the Wolves, and this came up here before Summer Bash 2 years ago, actually.
Anthony's 2 years ago. I'm the same Omen that you met who was feuding with Soulja.
See, it's not about...
Nothing has changed about me.
It's not about he wants the old Omen back. It's he wants to make his own Omen. He wants Omen to fall in line with him. He wanted to reap the benefits of what Omen Black was capable of and what Omen Black did. And that's what he does with the rest of the foundation.
He teamed with Parsley, though, after everything Parsley put him through. He teams with him.
Again, reaps the benefits of everyone else's success. That's what he is. He's a mooch. He's a mooch in this industry.
I don't know about that. I think that's a strong word because I look at what Soldier's work with Drago, Damian Saint. He and Damian Saint are side by side.
What is Damian Saint?
Bringing that name up.
What is Drago doing?
Won the United States.
What is Mephisto and Sean Jovi doing?
Well, that's a great question on Sean Jovi. Mephisto, though, had a very impressive performance in the Rumble in the Wreck, the Mike Belts Trip Memorial Show. I mean, obviously, you eliminated Mephisto. Mephisto eliminated Felix Jones. Mephisto had a very strong performance there in the Rumble in the Wreck.
Let's do it like this. And Omen, you should know this. When Mephisto won the world title, Soulja raised his hand high in the air. He was so proud.
He was, yes.
And the moment that Mephisto lost the world championship, where's Soulja been by Mephisto since then?
They've had separate battles.
Correction. When I won that battle royal to get my number one contendership, what does Soulja GP say to Mephisto? No offense, Mephisto, but Omen's gonna kick your ass.
We did have a showdown here on the platform, and there was no question that there was one guy who was taking this seriously, and another guy, well, let's just say he was in the galaxy. He was in the cloud. So I got that. But there's no question, though, that Soulja has been working side by side with the foundation, with his brothers, to try to keep things going in the IMF. They want to continue to see the IMF grow in leaps and bounds, and you guys have your way of doing things, and they have their way of doing things.
Their way is wrong, though, Tom.
Well, they're both great ways. You guys got both.
No, great. They're both are completely different. Their way's the wrong way.
Well, there's a right and a wrong way, Tom.
And which way is the right way again?
The House of
It
Wolves.
is the path that the House of Wolves and the natural selection are laying down for them.
But you know what time it is, though, with Damian Saint. He's been helping out. Drago got the United States Championship. He was able to find a way and do something that Anthony even acknowledged. He would have did the same thing. I mean, Mephisto's
Again, thieves in the foundation. Thieves. That's all they are is thieves. They steal moments. They steal titles.
The Midwest Express, though, they took those tag team championships away from them.
Thievery.
Well, I mean,
they get a shot because they know Dirty Donnie, and Dirty Donnie hangs out with them.
Well, Dirty's in the group. Okay, Dirty's in the group. He is. But Anthony Steele shook his hand and gave him respect.
They felt bad for him.
You felt bad for Dirty?
I read between the lines. I can see what the true actions are. Anthony knows that Drago's gonna have a tough time living up to being the United States champion that Anthony Steele was.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of
Anthony. I'm tired of you being humble. We're not humble in the house.
You're right. You're right. And the true lying factor is, like I said earlier, Tom, like I said earlier, Omen, a man that has nothing left to lose is the most dangerous version of himself. And now that I don't have the United States Championship anymore, it's time to get a little dangerous. It's time to do things the right way. And that is by any means necessary, no matter who or what is in my way. And come July 19th, I'm going to make the greatest decision in my entire life. I promise you that.
Well, you know what? We're very excited about that. Well, we're going to find out. And I also want to let the audience know. All right, go ahead.
I promise you're going to make an important decision on the 19th. I promise everyone that he's going to make the important decision on the 19th.
Well, we're going to find out, and I want to, as a reminder, let everybody know we're going to be back here Thursday night and maybe continuing some of this because we have Summer Bash 3 coverage right before the guys go out there and wrestle this coming weekend. There'll be plenty of fireworks, I promise. So we'll be here with a slew of your favorites who are going to be in action. I am looking forward to that. We've got other IMF shows ahead. Yes, we do.
I promised you something last time I was here, Tom.
Yes, sir. Yes, you did. And I did have some comments we'll get to right afterwards before we get to final words.
Now,
yes,
this beautiful championship will be on the line at Summer Bash. And Summer Bash history, we always crown a new champion, a new title at Summer Bash. This year will be no different. I introduce you to the PWF Global Championship.
Oh my God, it looks literally like the WCW Television Championship. Are you sure that's not the WCW Television Championship? Because it looks exactly like the same thing.
It's its twin, as you can see.
And literally, I wouldn't have told the difference. You would have told me that's the WCW TV title. I would have said that that's the TV title.
Now, I don't know how the rest of PWF management want this to be crowned to a new champion, but I tell you this, it's going to be some extraordinary way, like Summer Bash fashion.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. Listen, whatever it may be, I have no doubt.
I mean, just look at it. It's like the true secondary title in the PWF. It's not Uprising. It's none of that. It is its own global championship.
Well, was it Twilight Full Moon Rising? Well, we're having the PWF Global Championship with a Full Moon Rising at Summer Bash. I'm sure Princess JD watched the Twilight movies. Actually, no, she wouldn't have. She's too young. She wouldn't even know what those movies are. Let me get to it.
As I see it, there's 3 champions in the PWF. Parsley, unfortunately. Whoever's going to be this champion and there's a champion on a trampoline somewhere in Tennessee or Memphis, whatever it is.
Well, I'm going to leave the third championship out. I'm going to let the third championship speak for itself because they'll figure out who their champion is, and they'll speak for themselves. But let me get to some more comments before we sign off here. Who walked away champion? You know who I was when you tasted that ring post at Rumble at the Rec. That's the profit for us. You know who I was when you blindsided me and set me up for that damn chair to the head. Clearly, more chemistry is needed between Felix and the rest of the house, all in due time. Zilla's happy that she's still a member of Natural Selection. Great. It's not just happenstance, it's destiny. Soldier does nothing for the fans. He's in it for himself. He's in it for greed and glory. I'm going to disagree on that. Omen I'll be nice. Hello. Okay, that's good. Let's be nice. Soldier is the biggest fake punk there is in this business, period. Obviously, Jason Storm has strong. Yes.
Can you pull up
I'm getting
the verse that Parsley put in the chat?
Yes, let me do that. Give me 1 second. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Ephesians verse 5:11.
And Parsley, you should also remember John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. But we have come that they may have life and have it to the full. And that's the mission of the house. It's not taking part in the unfruitful works of darkness. It's about bringing light to the darkness y'all have cast.
Look how stupid that picture looks, and look at that stupid face behind him.
Well, yeah,
wait for a hot dog to slide in his mouth.
I actually had a hot dog today for the first time in like 3 years. I forgot what it tasted like.
That's makes sense for Soldier Girl Penis and Justin Pussy Lips.
Yeah, well, we're gonna move on. I love how Felix got eliminated. We're gonna leave that at that. To be honest, Parsley's, Omen's, and Steele's theme songs. Yeah, they're all great songs. Yeah, I agree with that. The right way is the path of the punk of the pack. I'm a real punk. Is that why we're intertwined? And my ears, I'm wearing headphones. Okay. I'm whatever you say I am, Omen, but all I see is a hypocrite. You only care about what that world championship is, and I hope that Steele sees that before it's too late.
It's funny how that comes from you, but when you were world champion, all you cared about is being world champion, what your championship does, and how you defend your title, and what bullshit ways. But it's fine. But when someone else does it, it's not fine. It's oh God, it's unholy. It's unlawful. Jeez, well, I wonder where I learned this trick from.
Well, you know what? Obviously, I can see that we're going to move on to the next comment. The mid-chief, he's the high chief, Il Drago. He's the high chief, but he may be not a mid-chief. And Anthony Steele, who is also now the right-hand man. He is a right-hand man. Of what? He'll tell us, I'm sure. Steele, you won the Rumble, and Omen immediately gave it to him. I think he meant to say you gave it to him, but Real Punk, new nickname, not a bad name. Indeed, we will, Omen. The right decision will be made. Obviously, someone's making decisions for you, I suppose. Omen, you hide behind what's best for the house, but deep down, it's only what's best for you. You apologized tonight, Omen. You did apologize. To your credit, you did apologize.
That's how stupid he is.
I'm not saying
stupid. Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Well, Joby was last weekend, by the way. It was so good to see Joby back on here. I hope he's here Thursday. No, it was great to see Joby here. Great to see Joby.
Surprised he knew how to get on StreamYard. Not gonna lie.
No, Joby. Listen, I like my nacho fries. You know I like my nacho fries.
It's also great to eliminate Joby in the Rumble too. It was also great to do
Joby's still got it going on. He's got it going on. So
he does not have it going on. Man, that loss streak he's got going on is something, huh?
Tag matches he's been winning though. Tag matches he's
one. Tom,
Win to
come
win.
on. Like,
Win to win, man. Win to win.
we're gonna call a spade a spade. Maybe not Jack, but we're gonna call a spade a spade.
We're not go. I don't know anybody with that name, but I do know that Justin Parsley says at least that one reads PWF eligibly. He's a Jeopardy trivia
Well,
host.
he can't read. He can't read his title that he has. That's kind of sad. But
No,
he is from Indiana. He is from Indiana.
He can. He's a Jeopardy trivia host. Of course he can. Summer Bash 4 debut the PWF Ultraviolent Championship. Well, that's next year. That's a good idea. I think I'll take that. I think we'll all take that and say, yeah, we'll do it. Good grief, Parsley. You can't even come up with original material. You have to quote the writings of over 2,000 years ago. Well, more comments from Justin Parsley. Omen's not there, man. Omen's insecure and uncertain, but comes alive for the fans and becomes his best self. Now when that bell rings, Omen's not playing games. He's not laughing. Omen's absent. And he mentions the hot dog emoji. I enjoyed my hot dog today, though. See, Steele reference scriptures. That form. Yeah, Anthony, you reversing almost what you've said the last 45 minutes and quoting a scripture was definitely Anthony Steele-like. Let's put it that way. We're going to leave that at that. I take Parsley words. He's been in the ring with this thing. We're going to move on. I think she should be a little more respectful. Pretty Timeless Tale Sticks, a bestseller and the most supernatural writings and words ever written. You sound like my teacher. Now that writing is too antiquated, Mr. Parsley. I just possess the gold. I didn't create or design it. Somebody did. Yeah. For now. Okay. Do we have any final words before we see each other here on Thursday? Anything else you guys want to say before tonight ends here with certainly a memorable episode?
I know I would talk about my next opponent. Everyone would probably think, oh, you're talking about El Drago.
No, you have one in Summer Bash coming up.
Yeah, I have.
The legendary Darkron. He's going to be in action with you.
I'm just going to say this to Darkron, and I hope you're watching. Cancer will not be the worst thing you worry about. Come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to be worse than what your cancer could have done to you.
Well, could that be a warning, a shot to the bow to the legendary underground OG Darkron? I don't know.
Not a warning. Not a warning.
It's not a warning?
A promise.
It's a promise. Well, the underground OG has got a lot he's fighting for, and he's got even more to fight for coming up at Summer Bash 3 because he wants that IMF World Heavyweight Championship, and Soldier GP really wants to say, Steele, a follower, man, that's crazy. I hope you open your eyes a lot sooner than another right-hand man did. Yeah, I mean, you labeled yourself as the right-hand man right now when we saw you before, so Soldier's making a point made. That's what he sees.
He wants to say another one.
But Anthony,
he's right.
You're not used to being a right-hand man. Soldier makes an interesting point before we sign up because you're always Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele never follows what others do in a group. Anthony Steele's Anthony Steele. That's what I do. I mean, you've never been one person that follows orders.
Everyone represents the right-hand man as a follower. No. The right-hand man stands beside the leader. And that's what I'm doing.
None of us are standing behind each other, Tom.
I stand beside Omen Black. And you know what? Soldier, I'm going to make you a promise. July 19th, I'm going to have you open your eyes, but I'm going to close them for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, obviously this is an episode where, let's just say, there has been shots fired from pretty much all over the place. Anthony Steele definitely lives up to the moniker, as he always does, as the most controversial figure in wrestling history. Just when you thought you had him figured out, nope. You don't have him figured out by a long shot, because Anthony Steele is going to be front and center of a number of different shows here coming up, whether it's Summer Bash 3 next weekend, whether it's back-to-back shows from Shots of War, One Night Stand, and in August 16th, All Out Warfare. Anthony Steele, it's all going to lead up to July 19th when he gives that answer to Omen Black, and Omen Black is going to be also front and center because he's defending the IMF championship, and so is Damian Saint. We're not getting into it because we're going to sign off, but we'll talk more about it on Thursday's show.
He's not
And
the champion.
Well, he's claiming
He's a thief.
Well, whatever he is, we are going to see you on July 19th, and we are going to see you here Thursday. We're going to see you July 5th and 6th. We're going to see you also coming up on July 18th and 19th. And the truth will be revealed when the minions, the parasites, deserve to know the truth. And also, Princess JD's dad is a fan of yours, by the way. Is a fan. But she
Smart man.
But she's a fan, but she doesn't seem to be a fan. And Ox McCoy says that he's the left hand. He can follow that path. Say less. Keep that energy. Yeah, we'll see. And okay,
you know what, Anthony? Just do what Soldier GP's followers doing right now, and just say less. All right. Oh,
Well,
can't say that, Soldier.
Anymore.
Well, before we sign off, as a reminder, it was Anthony Steele Day here today because Anthony Steele is back, and it hasn't been as long as it's been, I think, in his between appearances on Sportswire in about 2 years, and we wanted to remember him and thank him for his service. And we definitely are cheering for him, and we hope he continues to do what he does best, which is do a great job in the ring along with the rest of the IMF superstars. We will be honoring them coming up this Thursday at Summer Bash 3 pre-show coverage. And please support the IMF on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and there it is. There is that championship Omen Black is holding. And also, gentlemen, we thank you so much. We look forward to seeing everyone here Thursday. I'm sure some of the same energy will be here front and center Thursday, and I can't wait to see what's ahead for Summer Bash 3. And thank you, fellas, and thank you for that heart-to-heart talk. My mouth is so dry right now. I'm just getting over a cold. That heart-to-heart talk that you guys had certainly shows that maybe things are more unified than ever in the House of Wolves, and we'll see if it's to the detriment of the foundation. And thank you, fellas, for joining us, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. And that is Omen Black on his show, the Boogeyman of the Midwest, the Hardcore God, the leader of the House of Wolves, the IMF champion, and also the 2025 Rumble in the Wreck winner, the longest reigning IMF United States champion in history, and the right-hand man, the real deal, the most controversial figure in wrestling history, Anthony Steele. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'll see you tomorrow night with LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be I'm sure, just as interesting of an interview as we had tonight with Anthony Steele and Omen Black later on. And pre-show coverage for Summer Bash will take place Thursday. I hope everybody joins us. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Hit the sub button for the IMF. Follow them on all their platforms. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
Global Radio